Hey you guys, Superstar0717. So I just got a request real quick on one of my videos from BD Saxophone to post my side deck for my Werewolf deck. I'm gonna go ahead and do that right now. But real quick, I am doing another contest giveaway. If you want to win yourself a playset of foil M11 Squadron Hawks, I know there's a bunch of people out there that play Modern, and these cards are pretty good for that. If you guys want to win yourself a playset of these, absolutely free, post a comment down below. Make sure you're subscribed, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, and let me know what is your least favorite card to play against, and why. For me, that card would easily have to be Wurmcoil Engine, just because like the lifelink that it gives, the death touch, and then you finally kill it and it splits into two, and then they usually cast a second one and then a third one, and it just sucks. So that's my least favorite card to play against. Leave me your least favorite card to play against down below, and probably next week sometime I'll do a another drawing to see who wins this one. So let me put this tripod thing down. Yeah, my other tripod broke the other day, so I'm trying to use this stupid ball-legged one. I hate it. It sucks so bad. But it was free with the camcorder, so I cannot complain. Okay, let me see. Sorry guys, this is really bad. Okay, there you go. Okay, so the sideboard, I'm running 3 Ancient Grudges. Now, Ancient Grudge is just such a good card. Being able to 2-for-1 artifacts is amazing. I like to side these in against Tempered Steel. Any deck that runs sorry, I'm so tired right now. Any deck that runs Inkmoth Nexus, I like to side in maybe 1 or 2 of these, and whenever they activate it, just nuke it. Because honestly, your creatures are usually big enough to handle theirs, and their biggest threat is that flying infect guy. Obviously, every once in a while I'll play a deck in an FNM that's like an infect deck that uses a lot of artifacts, or equipment decks like that. The Rune Chanter's Pike, Invisible Stalker combo is really annoying, and being able to 2-for-1 their enchantment, or not their enchantments, excuse me, their artifacts, is really good. And it's literally like the easiest card to, it's just like 1 colorless, 1 red, and then a green, nuke 2 artifacts. If you have your Werewolves and you don't have an Immerwolf, they'll all flip back, but sometimes you'll get the pluses off of the Huntmaster, so it's not a bad card. Up next, I like to side this guy, Blasphemous Act against tokens. Now, the reason why I don't run 2 Slagstorm in the sideboard is because there's a lot of card effects that stack. For example, if they know that you're running any kind of burn or cards like Daybreak Ranger, they're not ever going to really drop a Drogskull Captain without protection. So usually they'll go like Drogskull Captain, Phantasmal Image, maybe into another Phantasmal Image, giving them all their tokens plus 3/3, which makes most of their tokens 4/4s, which puts just about all of their creatures out of range for Slagstorm. And just in general, a lot of cards like Titans or 6/6s, obviously, it's really hard to efficiently deal with their basically their entire field. And tokens as well. You have like cards like Adaptive Automaton and different Lord cards that really puts tokens past your the reach of Slagstorm, especially if they can go Intangible Virtue, get some Gavany Township tokens on there, maybe drop them a Chaos and tap it. Those tokens get really big really fast, and you need a way to get rid of them. And usually, a lot of times, you'll cast it for a red, just a red, deal 13 to everything, and you'll still be able to say, like, cast a Huntmaster and maybe a Strangleroot Geist, and you'll have immediate board presence. You have 3 bodies, effectively 4 blockers, because Strangleroot Geist can block, and then come back for a next turn block. And it's awesome to do that. So it doesn't really slow down the deck, because you do run a lot of low casting cost creatures, and it is just an awesome play. I definitely recommend you guys try this over Slagstorm. Up next, 2 Autumn's Veil. My meta has a lot of control, a lot of blue-black control, a lot of different targeting effects. Things like Tragic Slip are starting to show up now. And it is just annoying. Vapor Snag is definitely a card, and you hate to get your stuff Vapor Snagged unless it's a Huntmaster, because then it's awesome, because you can just recast it and get another token and gain another 2 life. And so Autumn's Veil is a good card, basically giving all of your creatures hexproof for that turn is awesome. I like to cast this before I drop a Green Sun Zenith so I can get out like a Bellowing Tanglewurm and then just tap it and kill their stuff. and it works awesome. I played Magic FNM, or not FNM, Wednesday Night Magic tournament. I took first place, went really, really well. And it was so funny, like my MVP of the day was Birds of Paradise. I played a lot of like different, mostly decks that focused on the ground. And there was 2 games where I was down to like 7 poison counters, and my opponent was going to deal me the last bit of poison next turn. And he was tapped out of his Ink Moths, and he didn't have anything else flying. And he only had 5 life, so I swung in with the birds and pumped it with all my mana and 2 other birds on the field to give it +6. So it was a 6-1 flyer, and I won the game. That happened like twice. It was hilarious. Anyways, so 2 doubles play. I don't have a specific matchup where I like to side these in. I usually use it against decks where the games are really grindy and they seem to go on, and I don't have a finisher. And like I said, it's usually those random decks that aren't like meta that I don't really prepare for. I like to side these in because they'll have like really troll combos and things like that, and you'll get them down to like 5, and they just stop you from doing anything else. And cards like these are excellent finishers. You can deal them like 5 or 6 in one turn, and then just do that last 2 or 3 with the flashback, which is always good to do, especially since you run like birds, so it's never really hard to get a high amount of damage on this card. And I really like this card. You guys suggested it over Red Sun Zenith. And while it does not deal with things like Wormcoil Engine and Chandra's Phoenix as effectively, it's a lot better of a finisher because it is just going to stay in your grave, and you can just cast it the next turn for that extra bit of damage. So up next, we're running 2 Thrun the Last Trolls. In addition to the 1 main deck. This is probably my favorite card to side in. I like to side him in against a lot of aggro decks, such as like white humans that run like Blade Holds and things like that, because he can block the Blade Hold, regenerate him, he comes back tapped. I like to run him against blue-black, obviously, because they can't Doom Blade him, they can't counter him, they can't do whatever, so I usually sat out maybe like a Huntmaster or 2, and some other cards to bring this guy in. This guy is just like an all-star against that matchup, and backed up with some Autumn's Veils. And you give the rest of your creatures protection from their entire deck, and the matchup isn't too difficult. And one thing, I've been looking at different ways to build the deck, and I saw a red, green, blue version of the deck, which isn't pure werewolves. It's more of like werewolf or like Huntmaster control with like mayors and 2 Daybreak Rangers, and it was really interesting. So I started buying some of the dual lands. I still need to buy 4 Snapcasters, which is expensive, but I've seen them go down in price, so whenever I pick up those, I'll show you guys that deck list. But I'm running 2 Naturalizes. Ancient Destiny is definitely a good card against us, as well as that extra artifact removal is also nice against Tempered Steel. Being able to side in 5 artifact removers really hurts them, really slows them down, especially because 3 of those artifact removers, Ancient Grudges, are hitting 2 artifacts at a time almost. But yeah, Naturalize, when people use O-Rings a lot, I use this a lot against white decks that run O-Rings. Angelic Destiny is a huge problem, especially when they equip it to like a Geist of Saint Traft or like a Hero Blade Hold. You really want to get rid of it fast, and this is a great way to do it, because even if you kill their Blade Hold, it'll just go back into their hand. So the Naturalize is always good. And the last 2 cards of the side deck. 2 Corrosive Gales. My meta had, after the Proto Dark Ascension, a lot of Drogskull Captain decks. It was everywhere. It was the most annoying thing ever. And so Corrosive Gale was effectively a one-sided board nuke. You can pay like 6 mana, and I mean, like at the most you'll pay like 6 mana, and it'll be able to nuke their entire field, unless they just have like a crazy like 4 Drogskull, whatever, then obviously not. But for the most part, 3 or 4 mana, maybe even pay 2 life if you want to get rid of them fast, will wipe their entire board, and you can just win from there. I played a Spirit deck today. I don't remember my matchups right now. I'm so tired right now. I don't remember the matchups that I played today, but I did play 2 Spirits, and this card won me game 2 for the win of the entire match, and game 3 to win the match. I didn't draw game 2 in that last set, but game 3 when I drew it just nuked their whole field, and I was able to swing in for a bunch of damage. So the Corrosive Gales are absolutely awesome. Flying is like the biggest issue with the deck right now, because you really only have one card which you run 3 of main deck, Daybreak Ranger, that can deal with flyers. And I guess you could chump block with birds, but you usually want to get some nice utility out of them. So that's it for the sideboard. I'll just go over it real quick one more time. And of course I'll put it down below. So 2 Corrosive Gale, 2 Naturalize, 2 more Thruns, 2 Devil's Play, 2 Autumn's Veil, 2 Blasphemous Act, and the 3 Ancient Grudges. So thanks for watching, guys. Rate, comment, subscribe. Peace.